Hey YouTube. So, all right, I just finished a long run. I mean, I think, you know, I haven't gone this distance in a while. I think all y'all know that I had a baby, and you know, I was working out, you know, well into like my third trimester, and I had to stop working out because it just became painful and I couldn't do it anymore. And it's been a long road kind of getting back to a place where I feel like, okay, I can run and I can get out there and work out. And really the point of this video, the thing that I really want to talk about is this. I'm listening to one of Jim Rohn's books. I'll leave a link for it down below. And man, you know, he says this thing. Every time I listen to this book and I hear this thing, I'm always like, you know, who would have thought, you know, I don't know. It's just one of those things that is said and you're just kind of like, oh, no shit. Like, man, what the hell are we doing? And he said that humans are the only things on this earth that will settle. You know, like we're the only things that will not strive to go to our maximum capacity. He's basically like, you know, trees, when you plant them, they grow as tall as they possibly can. You know, squirrels, ants, you know, they all do as much as they possibly can, you know, and, you know, there are things that are not in our control. Like we grow as much as we possibly can, right? Like we grow until we're done. Okay. And I just thought to myself, you know, if you're like me and you're looking for, you know, something to kind of go after, you know, like, I mean, we're still kind of at the beginning of the year. If you're looking for something to go after, take a second and write down the places in your life where you're settling. And you know, it could be a lot of places. It could be in your finances. It could be in your mind, you know, your education. It could be in your own personal development. It could be in your physical development, right? Like how in shape are you? It could be, you know, I mean, it could be a billion things. How much you're giving, you know, how much work are you doing for people that are less fortunate than you? You know, man, and it's incredible. You know, you kind of look at it and you're like, man, you know, you kind of like, you get into this place where you're like, okay, you know, I'm making this amount of money, whatever it is. And you're like, well, we're comfortable here, you know, or, hey, we bought a house. Our house was $350. We're comfortable there. You know, I mean, I guess, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, you know, but what is your maximum capacity? What is your full potential? Do you know, take a minute and think about that. What's my full potential? You know, is my full potential, you know, a $350,000 house? I mean, I don't know. That might be something to ask yourself. You know, is my full potential $60,000 a year? I mean, I would argue that for the vast majority of people, I mean, I would say like 99% of people, you know, $60,000 is not your full capacity. It's not your full potential. Like that is not the maximum that you could do. And if you look at even your physical health, like, oh, okay, maybe you can run a mile right now. Okay. Well, you know, can you only run 1 mile? I mean, I know that if you can run a mile, you can run more than 1 mile. You know, what's your maximum capacity? What is, you know, what is it like to kind of hit that upper limit of yourself? Like, you know, what is it, you know? And so my challenge to you is to make that list and then take something on that list and say, okay, I'm going to like work to it and I'm going to go as high as I can go, you know, like just make up some shit. Like if you're like, okay, I really want to tackle my finances, or if you're like, oh, okay, you know what? We're in a $350,000 house now, but you know what? I'd like to be in a house that's 1.1. Okay, well, you know what? Put that down as a goal and work towards it. Because I'm sure it's going to be two things at the same time. Easier than you think and harder than you think, right? And hard only in the sense that it's just small disciplines that take you to get there, right? Like, you know, those small disciplines that take it, you know, like those small disciplines, those things right there. Those are the hard things, right? Because you got to get those things ginned in so you can get to where you're going. But you know what? Once you get there, you're going to be like, oh man, that was easier. I wish I had done more earlier. So that's what I want to leave you with. You know, that's my challenge of the week. Look in the places of your life where you're not hitting your full potential. Like, where are you settling? Where are you like, you know, I mean, you know, maybe you're already in the 1.1 million house. Okay. Well, you know, how long have you lived in that house? You know, could you do more? Could you do a $2 million house? Could you get that awesome house with the view? Could you, you know, and I'm not saying houses or everything or finances, everything. I mean, it could be anything. Like, you know, maybe you're volunteering twice a week or something like that. You know, could you do more? Could you? You know? So take that, you know, set that goal. I mean, it doesn't have to be a bunch of goals. It could be one, right? Because, you know, typically like these kinds of goals, they lift all the ships. You know, you start working on this one thing and you're like, oh man, well, I got to work over here. I got to do some work over here. I got to do some work over here. And it kind of, everything goes up. But take one of those and see what you can make of it in the next year. Anyway, hey, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like the video. I will see you again soon, YouTube. Take care.